I'm Jessica Kringle. Of course, most of you know me as Mrs. Claus, and we are almost to Christmas. We have been counting down the days of December by making a different sweet treat recipe each day. Now, these have been my family recipes, and so I've gotten to share some stories and even had my mom in one of the episodes. That was so special. So today is the 21st, and we only have 4 more days until Christmas and 3 until Santa's big ride. He's working so hard out there. So let's go ahead and see what we get to cook today. It is the 21st. Our Advent calendar is almost finished here, isn't it? And let's see what we've got. Ooh, wonderful. Now this is my Aunt Judy's recipe. Aunt Judy has gotten to travel all over the world, and she spent a lot of time in Mexico and South America. And these are Frangos, or Frangos as you would say in Mexico. And so we get to learn how to make those today. I might, as a special treat, do some Spanish along with the English. How would that be? All right, let me go ahead and wash my hands, get the ingredients out. You guys know the drill by now, right? And we will get started on this. Now, remember to get these cards. If you want to follow along, you can go to www.crafterscountdown.com and you'll get a PDF printable version of this. I'll be right with you and we will get started. Que vamos a empezar. So we need to melt the chocolate chips. Now you don't want to put them directly in a pan because it could burn them. So you create a double boiler by putting hot water into one pan, and then you can either place another pan or this is glass and perfectly safe to be in the heat. So we're going to place that in there and turn it on to a low heat until it melts those chips, and then we will continue mixing the other ingredients as well. The first thing that we're going to do is sift some powdered sugar, or tamizar azucarero. Right. So this is a sifter. We got to use this in some other recipes this season as well. Just turn this and it sifts. So we're going to sift the powdered sugar into a larger bowl. We'll add our butter, mantequilla. Now save this paper because I'm going to show you how we can use this for another part of this recipe. And we're going to put this in our mixer and blend it until it's creamed, or a la crema. Remember to start this very slowly so that your powdered sugar doesn't puff up everywhere. Then you can make it slowly go faster. And remember that the butter was room temperature also. That's very important. Next, we're going to add our vanilla and our peppermint. So these get to be minty chocolates. Wonderful. So we'll add our vanilla first, also known as vainilla. Then we'll add our peppermint. So then it will really smell like Christmas in here, won't it? And in Spanish, this is called menta. And then we need to add 2 eggs. Necesitamos 2 huevos that are beaten. Y los vamos a batir. So, I'm going to go ahead and put them both in here. You've heard enough about the compost, right? Now, something else that you can do with eggshells is if you crush them up and lay them on top of the garden, then slugs and snails aren't very fond of going over the top of them because it's crunchy and sharp. So that's one of the things that you can do with those also. All right, we are shell free, so we're going to go ahead and beat those. Now, we're not going to cook this fudge, and I know I've been warning you all season about raw eggs and the dangers and that kind of thing. So I will say that there is a slight risk in here. I have made sure that these are completely organic eggs, and then we're also going to add the warm chocolate to it, so it won't cook it, but it will heat it up quite a bit. So You know, this is one of those decisions that you would need to make if you wanted to try this, but I would definitely go with making sure that you had organic eggs. And we're going to go ahead and mix this. So we want to take our baking pan, line it with waxed or parchment paper, and then it says to butter the waxed paper or parchment paper. So we're going to take this, which still has a little bit of butter on it, a little film of it, and just sort of rub that in here on this paper. Instead of using the paper towel, right? And that gets this all cleaned off and there's no waste. All right, now I'm going to go get the melted chocolate off the stove. We're going to add our hot melted chocolate to our mix here. These were semi-sweet chocolate pieces that we used for this. Again, some people call those chocolate chips. Some call them morsels. All the same thing. And again, I do love the rubber spatula because it creates very, very little waste because you can get everything out of there. And then we're going to mix this. I'm going to go ahead and do it by hand instead of using the mixer. Of course, chocolate in Spanish is chocolate. And then we're going to pour this into our pan. And we'll spread this around here. This is really creamy, so it doesn't need to be perfectly smooth. Kind of gives it some character when you cut it into the pieces anyway. And then we need to put this into the refrigerator and let it cool completely before we cut it into pieces so it'll harden up a little bit. So I'm going to get this put into the refrigerator. We get to lick the beater this time, and then I'll be back with you once it's all cooled. So I've removed the Frangos from the refrigerator so they're nice and hard. And now we just need to cut them into some pieces. So remember that we buttered this paper so that they wouldn't stick. And just cut them into, let's say, bite-sized pieces, but some people like bigger bites than others, don't they? And you can cut them or you can break them into chunks. Oh, hey, now put that back.
Oh, Mama, can I have one? You know how much I like your Aunt Judy's Frangos.
But, sweetie, Christmas Eve is just in a couple of days and you promised you would eat healthy.
Oh, just one, please.
All right, Santa, you know I can't resist you.
Oh.
My silly Santa and his sweet tooth. Goodness. Well, that's it for today's recipe. Thank you so much for joining me as we count down the days until Christmas with a different recipe each and every day in your little Cooking with Claus. I hope you're having as much fun as I am, and I hope your family's staying out of your treats better than mine is too. I hope I see you again tomorrow. All right, bye-bye.